Hello everyone, welcome to another video. We're back just doing one of the other games from the quarterfinals of the rookie tournament that was held sort of in-house on the GBG Discord, which you can find a link to in the description down below. And in this series it was Grenooli versus Soup Juice. So here they are on Tundra. Double check, yeah, Tundra. I was right. And looking at the map, we've got here Grenooli in the purple Gungans, and he's facing off against Soup Juice here in the green Gungans. So as always with these, I tend to do a mirrored matchup so that there's not too much balance issues, and it's just up to the players to make best use of the civs. And looking at this map, there's tons of nerfs here. You can see that Grenooli's living the dream right now. He's found all of his nerfs very quickly. You can get them rammed into the animal nursery and get the second one built ASAP. You can see he's only built one house just to make sure he gets that second nursery super quick. And with all of these guys inside, they will give enough food for a sort of worker rotation. There's a little pupa here who's gotten a bit too close to the command center there. He's gone and gunned him down just to get a little extra bit of food, which should give him a nice sort of blanket to keep building workers and not have too much downtime. You can see you have a tiny bit of downtime here. Not even that. Look at that. There we go. It's all good. On the other side of things, it looks like Soup Juice has struggled to get his nerfs at the same speed, and he's definitely going to fall behind in food because of that. There are other elements of food here to be picked up though. You can see that he's eaten nerf to sort of compensate with that. There's some 3 lumps that can be lured to the command center. Get a lot of food and race up the tech level very quickly with all that food, with the nerfs included. I'll speed it up a little bit now because there's not going to be too much happening while everyone just builds workers, gets more food and thinks about teching up. I don't really see much deviation from the players that would indicate that they may be going for Mounties, so this would definitely be one of the good sort of maps for that, to get some early Mountie harass, because you can get the workers built with just the nursery food. I can see Grenooli luring his lump here and getting his carbon processor started. He's definitely quite a bit ahead of Soup Juice just because of the difference in finding the nerfs early and getting them built, or getting the nursery built and getting them put in there. Bloody workers can't be trusted. Look at this. They could go here, here, but no. We want to go here and get the carbon that's over here. Can't trust them. That's why you need to babysit them. And why that small trees mod helps as well, because it helps you click on these. You don't really need too much help from this perspective, but when you got them like here and stuff, it's much harder to click on the trees you want. Now there's still flump to be eaten here. He sent all these guys onto carbon and all onto the same tree. That's not good. He's pulled them back though. He doesn't want to throw all his workers off of food. And at the other side of things, it looks like Soup has found all of his nerfs now. Got them housed, but the difference in time is staggering between the two players for getting them housed. You can see it's just everything's looking a bit too inefficient over here for Soup in comparison to Grenooli. Grenooli's having a much more like standardized game, and then we can see that in like the tech levels here. Although to be fair, Soup has gotten enough food to get up to tech levels. It's the difference in workers though. A 2 worker gap. Yeah. So maybe some corners being cut there. And no intention of teching up yet. I don't see any troop centres out of either player. Maybe going to favour going to tech level 3. It's an interesting food processor. Maybe I want to build that a bit here maybe, so we've got more space to put farms around it. Doesn't really serve us here. So looks like both players want to build some farms. Neither favouring some early aggression. Grenooli's food. 500 or so. Doesn't have any Nova though. He's going to need a spaceport if he does plan on taking up. I think it'd be better to maybe get 5 farms here. Because you can see he's just building 1 worker at a time, but it's going to take him a while to get to 800 food. Because the nerfs don't really make that much of a surplus of food. They just sort of give him the worker rotation. So he needs something extra to contribute towards getting that 800 food. So he's on to Nova now. Back at things, you can see that Soup's gotten those farms down. He's on to Nova as well. So things are going to sort of standardise out a little bit. Spaceport being dropped now. He's realising maybe that he needs the farms now. Prefab shelter and spaceport denying any use of the food processor for farm space. See, these things would be much better just placed as walls to help flush out a good sort of defensive layer for the base. It's going to get a little bit boring now that nobody wants to do anything. This wall would be so much better if we just went to the carbon and then to the ore. Much wider, a lot more space. Make your opponent walk all the way around it. So they've got their farms that I think they're probably going to attack about the same time here, really. Is Soup not making workers again? 3 workers. So Grenooli has clicked the button and so has Soup. So it's sort of evened out, I guess. Just that there's a bit of a worker lead for Grenooli. That shouldn't mean too much in hit T3 because there's a lot of opportunities for outplaying with the strike mechs and fighters and what have you. You know, things can really snowball. Maybe patching a hole in this wall. You can never really trust the elevation until you watch a scout or a worker walk through your wall. Just waiting for T3. War Center being dropped for the upgrades. Interesting to see what the players prioritise when they go T3. If they build command centres or they go straight into air, mass mechs, we'll see. So they both hit T3 now. Not seen anyone drop an airbase yet. There's an airbase for Grenooli. Some strike mechs queued here by Soup and a command centre. He's going to struggle with air here though. He's not going to have the ore for an anti-air turret or the means to build any anti-air units. You can see strike mech being rallied towards him. He's patched this bit up on his wall. Doing a little bit better with the prefabs here. See that what that's great for is just giving him vision of the strike coming, so he can prepare ahead of time. On the other side of things, I don't see much. He's built his strikes together and not sent them out one at a time. So he's going to lose 1 worker here, potentially 2. He is making a mech destroyer. I think he's pulled his 3 strike mechs back to try and kill off this strike mech. So it's just free damage at this point for Grenooli, and here comes the fighter that we talked about. There's not really an answer for that at the moment. Fortunately for him, it's hitting strike mechs rather than workers. And he's creating a little bit of chaos where he can sneak in some extra strike mechs here, maybe pick off a worker, but the mech destroyer has finished up and is going to chase those guys off. So it's really on Soup to just get some sort of defense here for the fighters, which would probably be a turret around here, which would cover pretty much most of his base. He's going on to ore. He's not really realised he's got a spaceport and he's got like a 3 food income. He could just sell into Nova and buy ore and build it. And now that there's 3 fighters, this is kind of going to snowball here and kill a lot of workers. It would have been much better to take the L and just get the turret, but there we go. I think he did use the spaceport there eventually. So they will get this up, but he has lost like 3 or 4 or 5 workers. And being a few workers behind already as well, that's going to be quite a noticeable difference in the income that the players have in contrast to one another. He is counter-attacking now with his strike mechs, and he's brought his mech destroyer as well, which is going to help these guys get a little bit longer of a harass on, but he is going to get pushed back because there's a mech destroyer for Grenooli as well. And the fighters are still coming to space, and they're going to lock off certain areas, like where his Nova and his ore are not protected by this turret. He didn't build this turret wide enough to cover his farms as well, it just covers the carbon, which is unfortunate. But the fighters are kind of sitting here at the time, so it's understandable about when he placed it. Looks like Grenooli's really keeping the pressure on here. You can see he's rallying off his mech destroyers and his strike mechs. He's keeping one at home to keep himself safe. But his base is quite good in how it's designed. It's just got this sort of area where most of his eco is, but it's sort of a killing field. If you walk into it, you're going to get kind of trapped there by the buildings and the layout. And the air is giving him a lot of scouting. He can pick his time when he wants to send in his mechs to do some harassment here. No second command center yet. Oh, there he is. Yeah, built one here as well. So I think he's significantly ahead with the big worker lead, and you can see that more workers are going down here. And there's nothing to really deal with the air other than turrets. But if you can't get the turret built in time, you can see how many workers he's hemorrhaging. One of his mech destroyers walking in here, pushing these workers off. And if you hear, so it's maybe really going to work out that Grenooli's sort of just going to win by attrition. Offensive scout here getting involved. Great to see. I don't think with just the one mech factory and the amount of workers that Soup keeps losing that he's going to be able to deal with all the mech destroyers that eventually end up in his base. You would definitely need to be doing some sort of repair magic with your workers here to win this trade. There's so many strike mechs here. He's pulled back a little bit. Should be reinforcing though with this. He's got his opponent against the ropes. He just needs to go for the finishing punch. Seems to rally a lot of units here that just don't do anything. What would be good here as well is maybe a forward and just some pummels or artillery. You're not paying attention to these units, and Soup's going to grab at this opportune moment to take down the mech destroyer. He's repairing his mech destroyers as well. Could maybe stabilise here. He does have 3 turrets up now, so the air shouldn't give him too much of a problem unless he goes for the Nova. He's not quite dead yet. Research centre being built here. Don't know if we're maybe going for research tracking just to make sure that the mech destroyer hits are all landing. Got quite a lot of strike mechs, keeping them at home. Not too sure what the idea is with that. What you could definitely use them for is just killing off workers and raiding a little bit just now, while he builds up some mech destroyers to kill his opponent. There's a second mech factory, that's good. That's definitely what he needs because he's going to be so ahead. And if you look at all the workers he's got in carbon in comparison. Tons of Nova as well. If we go and look at Grenooli's money, he must have tons. Yeah, he's got 1600 Nova because he's just had so many guys on this Nova patch for so long. You could rush up to T4 if you wanted. Just getting Motivator now, quite late. But if we look at what he's got on the ground, he's got a lot more in terms of the mechs. These walls have been a very good deterrence though for Grenooli pushing in and utilising his advantage. It's probably the best spot though, if you can knock your opponent off both ore patches. You can get a fort here on top of the hill, take away another Nova pile as well. Fair bit of downtime. What are we doing in terms of the upgrades? Not really much for Soup here. Very much in comparison for Grenooli, so not only has he got more on the ground, but they're much better equipped with the upgrades as well. He's got an extra range, got 3 extra damage, got some armour as well. It'll be a hard fight here for Soup. He's now sort of kicking at the door here, shooting at this prefab. Letting Soup know what he's in store for. But he's going to come round into the area that he's always attacked from. where the 5 mech destroyers are waiting. But I think he's definitely going to need more than that to deal with this army. Because the strike mechs will tank a lot of the shots, and well, there's even more mech destroyers here for him. He's got an extra 1. Oh, there's a 6 popped out here now, so it is even, but it's going to come down to micro. He's run the strike mechs back because he's sort of afraid of losing them, I guess, but it'd be better just having them here, because he's going to win the trade guaranteed if the guy shoots at the strike mechs rather than his mech destroyers. He's got 2 mech factories, he can replace things. A bit of a miss micro here for Soup, and he's just got cornered now, and there's 4 or so here. He does get a shield down, which is going to sort of help, but these guys need to repair rather than run away into the command center. You can see the command center doesn't do too much damage. It's all the damage is coming from these mech destroyers. Yeah, it's sort of sandwiched here. The strike mech shooting at some workers. Might just survive. He's not really got anything to deal with these strike mechs though. He's now sort of standing inside where the most of his economy is, denying it. There's some workers over here maybe planning to build a fortress. And get some units out that destroy buildings. Pummels will actually be quite good now. Or potentially some cannons out the fortress. Because there's not really any mech destroyers now in the field for Soup, which tend to counter the units that take the buildings down. Throwing away a lot of strike mechs here. I guess he's guaranteeing that he's off this ore for now. Doesn't want any more shields or fortresses being built. These 2 mech destroyers coming out here. Maybe going to spy that this fortress is being made, but it's already built really at this point. You can't deny this. Still rallying over here. It'd be better to rally here where his fortress is. Power core going down. And a shield generator. I don't think Soup's really got much of an out here in this game. Building a heavy weapons factory. Doesn't really have like a Nova income to make artillery though, and if he makes pummels, they're gonna just get gunned down. T4 for Grenooli now. Kinda just needs to get his units over here and push in. Cannons can just sit in the shields as well if he builds them. It's a much larger standing army. There we are, building some cannons, that's good. Some farms expiring at home, I hate that noise. So he's finally killed his mortal enemy, which is this prefab shelter. I might actually push in here at this angle. I think it'd be better to have the army with the cannons though, so they can frontline for them and make sure they don't take any damage. There's a couple of pummels. It's like some of the right ideas here for Soup, but he's so far behind, and his opportunities to like implement these are just gone. I think at times Grenooli has been a bit passive, but he's also in a sense not created any opportunities for Soup to come back really. Nor to do any sort of counter aggression to him. So he's kept control of the game quite well, I would say, in that regard. Soup's certainly done a good job to hang in there. Which, particularly in a competitive setting, is good in terms for your own mental, but also damaging your opponents, because, you know, playing competitively can be stressful, especially in a sort of, even a tournament, you know, where there's nothing really on the line, it can still be stressful. And you want, when you're winning, to just win quickly and win fast. You want it to be over. You want that guaranteed win right there. And when people hang on, it can affect your own mental. So the pummel's coming forward. They did take down the shield generator with like no resistance really from Grenooli. He has showed up now and he's focusing down these pummels. Quite a lot of them. This would be a great opportunity for the Gungan medic to get involved and heal these boys up. But not enough memes in this game. You see that the layout and where he's built his buildings, he's sort of walled his army out. He might actually kill this fortress. Just because he's having such a hard time getting his units over. You see these workers when they're coming back with the carbon as well, like blocking the mechs coming forward. He has to repair the fortress. He's focusing them down with fighters now and getting some of the units over. Here's some of the mech destroyers getting involved. Just keep repairing the fortress. I find it crazy that Soup could have pretty much almost killed this fortress given the circumstances. Throwing some more pummels forward, but where are these cannons and why are they not just shooting out of this fortress that's being built? Like he's forgotten they're inside. He's gonna get this fort up because he's not killing it. And the fighters as well could have been on the workers, pushing them away. Pulling his units back because the fortress is firing on them now. Let's use the cannons. There we go. Yeah, but just don't siege them up in range of the cannon and the fortress. There we go. It's such an awkward area. He's not going to be able to kill these cannons, I don't think. But they'd have been even safer here. This is the area I probably would have put them. Repairing the fortress, but eventually run out of ore. Because it's two cannons just going ham on it. New shield generator being built in front. Mech destroyers getting gunned down. But making sure there's no potential for mech destroyers to come and kill off the cannons, and there's the GG. So that's the end of that game. So Grenooli takes game 1 as a best of 3, so hop into the next one. And this map is landmass, shoreline. I'm always getting confused. Shoreline, lots of fish here. And let's get Gungans again. It's all about the Gungans. We've got a Lone Earth, Dewback, a full lump, 2 Tuskats that have combined into one. The dreaded double-headed Tuskat. Kind of looks like an X. Quite an ethical looking map. I like it. I can barely see him, and this green blends in, so they're so close to one another. A very good rush map. Wow. The distances. A little bit unfavourable here though, because in a more competitive setting, look at these shorefish. Whereas Soup's distance from shoreline. Kind of crap. Oh, these are nice though. This is a little bit further though. So we're getting the lump lured. Well, we want to, but it's not playing ball. It's like he's waiting for it, but it's not come with him. Second time it's working out. Tree's a little bit in the way. What are you running to? Bit of a damn distance. Oh no. Fuck that. This is not a good map for fucking your lure either. I think the way you salvage this should be like a food processor here, and then they walk in, they deposit it, and then you can eat the shorefish as well. It's not really going to have the foresight for that though. Probably doesn't know about the fish either. No. It's the only way I think I could make that better. Fuck the caddies. They suck. This is like 600 food. They're like 200, 300. So it's all looking good for Grenooli here, with his opponent making such a bad mistake to his economy. Were he to rush, it could translate into a huge amount of damage given the distances between the two. Carbon processor being placed. Ah, farms before carbon pro. What's going on? Still got nurse to eat as well. What is this cursed farm? Don't do it. Where's the carbs? Well, they're due back to eat as well. Why are you like this? Sigma Glurg just wants to farm. Oh, somebody's getting housed, Grenooli. Nah, they built it just in time. Ah, they found the shorefish. It's good. Good extra food. They got the best animation as well. Look at them go. There's so many workers around this one. I always thought Gungan should have like a little bonus to this. That'd be cool. So troop centre being placed. That's going to be way ahead of Soup given all the economic hardships he's been suffering. This is early farm, slowed down his carbon income. Not the most sensible place for the troop centre. Be nice to start building a wall along this area and farm safely into this pocket. Have sort of safe Nova, safe food, safe carb, all sort of guaranteed in the same area. Away from this hill and this one. It's a scout from Grenooli. What is he actually seen in this game? His fence his base. And Soup. Not really scouted, but he's been really busy at home. Maybe extremely tilted by that flump from earlier, because he's not kept an eye on Grenooli and what he's doing. Tunnel visioned a little bit. Grenooli got that sort of AI vibe at the moment, with these troop centres just sitting around the... with these troopers sitting around the troop centre. They are being sent out now though. Not quite hit T2, is he? Like a trooper recruit rush at this rate. It's not a bad distance. This is time for a medic, if you're going to do something like this. Where's the medic? Get the heal on. They can't spend time standing around, they need to get involved. They're slow enough as it is, they can't have breaks. Straight to the carbon. Let's go. Has Soup. He has hit T2, he's on his way here. But no troop centre. His saving grace would probably be a double turret. Fortunately, these guys are not very fast, so they will deny the Nova here. They'll kill both of these. Went to them a while ago over here. He should hit T2 in a second, so he just needs to slam down 2 turrets and shoot at these from the command centre just to slow them down, postpone them getting here. He's scouting ahead of time here with the scout, so he knows where the carbon line is. He needs to build these turrets quickly. For some reason, he thinks his saving grace here is a troop centre. It's going to take so long for him to get the power core. All the troops, he's just ran the carbon away. It's not good. It's double turret and it would have been okay. Let's have a look at Soup's eco. So just see, he doesn't really have the carbon to, like, he couldn't afford the power core, couldn't afford the carbon for all the troops he would need to fight. So really it was stabilise with 2 turrets, then get this set up, and then attempt to punish your opponent for being so slow to T2. But now he's sort of created an environment where Grenooli is going to be able to upgrade these troopers, as he has now, and he can start killing off his farms and running around his base doing all sorts of havoc. So it's kind of looking like last game, where Grenooli is just completely on the offensive and Soup's just hanging on there, but slowly but surely he's just suffering so much and falling behind so far. get back at home. Everything's looking very healthy. These guys still slowly finishing off these shore fish. Be nice to see some actual fishing here now as well. If you look at Grenooli's economy, you can absolutely afford it. And it's just like having 2 extra command centres, really. Huge advantage. And he's gone back on the Nova. I'm not too sure why he's on the Nova, because he doesn't need it for anything. It's almost like a tick where you feel like you need to have 2 or 3 workers just getting you Nova. But at the moment, he needs to just have a standing army to knock these off and keep his farm safe. Because very soon these guys might walk, you know, around here to where the more exposed areas of the base. Some Mounties being built up here for Grenooli. And it could work out well for him because Soup doesn't have that big of a standing army. He just needs to draw what he does have out and kill them off, and then the Mounties can maybe get the power core. It's so crazy to think though, the difference in the balance here. If you decided to fish. Like here's an entire sea, here's a shit river. Or a small coastline. However you want to describe it. Think how much food these are. Like, they're all like 200 food each. Thousands of food. So the Mounties quite fast, they can run around, harass, being annoying, and give him scouting vision of where the troops are. And he can pick his moment. He doesn't want to lose them though. Soup coming over here to try and gun these down. And like plasma ball them down. I don't know how you would describe it. The Gungans projectiles. Soon going to lose this Nova processor, which is sort of his advanced warning system. Like, you can see with the command set, okay? See it about there, unless he's been shot at. He's losing vision of the troops now. Hanging on there, but there's just no food income really. And you can see that Grenooli is almost in a position to click up to T3. It's like you can farm safely here for the moment, but do worry about like in the future, because you can go round and kill these off. There's not really been any sort of walling decisions made post moving all the carbon workers over here. Just relying too much on the turrets. And these troopers could get cornered here and killed off, but Grenooli is on the way to T3, and I imagine Soup's nowhere near it. 66 food, 1000 carb. There needs to really be some changes made here. A lot more farms placed. Probably a spaceport. Some walling prefabs and stuff. And his issue is he'll not be able to get Nova if he needs to build Grenadier troopers. And his ores are so exposed as well. Because you would maybe want to turret your way out of this. Like go up to 3, 4, maybe even 5 turrets. Then rely on anti-air troopers to take down fighters. It's not a very fair map this, I don't think. Well, that's a bit high. Grenooli hit T3 now. Adding some prefabs to sort of wall things out from this side. Definitely needs a spaceport if he's going to get Nova. Build Grenadiers, he's going to need them for the strike mechs. Strike mech's just terrorising Soup here. Spaceport. Still so much carbon and like no food. Could even sell it and get food and get to T3. Needs to do something. Fortunately, Grenooli's not going too hard on him here. There could be like a double mech factory at this point. Or double airbase, there's just one of each. Which is kind of manageable. The speed at which the units are coming. These strikes should really be in the back of the eco. Picking things apart. Creating opportunities for the fighters to do damage. Try and get the anti-air troopers killed off. You can take advantage of the Sim City as well, because if you look at how hard it is to walk directly towards these units, you have to walk around against units that outrange you heavily. Double your range. So Sip's done a bit of marketing magic at the spaceport and on his way to T3 now. Fortunately running into these turrets, which is good for him here. I don't like this carbon processor. Can't help. Definitely wants to keep everything as around these turrets at the moment. Makes it hard for the strikes to kill off the anti-air troopers. And back at home though, definitely want to see a command centre here out of Grenooli, and I wonder if the hills are just putting him off placing one, because it's kind of annoying the way those hills are spread out around his base. Yeah, he's upgraded his troopers here to heavy troopers. I think you just go for the forward command centre here into some artillery and just keep the pressure on your opponent. It's like a keep fighting map. Soup does hit T3 here. No mech factory place though, because he doesn't have ore and he's not bought any, which he'll have to do so he can build the mech factory. Workers getting killed off here. So we get lots and lots of troopers, but not really going to help here. The best this troopers could do is just be in the turrets for extra beams. Mech factory up, some mech destroyers being rallied out. Heavy troopers are going to cause him issues though when he tries to take trades there. Try and kill off the power core. Did a lot more damage quicker than I thought they would. He's not going to repair this, is he? No. He goes down. Really rough. The troops could have came out as well. Oh no. Could have prevented it. It's looking like a disaster here. Just non-stop pressure from Grenooli here, and the suit just not able to react appropriately or in time. Certainly tenacious though in how he's hanging on. Kept trying to make a comeback. But I think it's spiraled out of control here now though, as he's not really got a food income and there's no nerfs like last game to just keep ticking away. He needs the farms, and if the farms aren't mining, there's no food. 1 CC challenge here for Grenooli. Seven markers to 62. Yikes. Huge deficit. Grenooli floating so much eco as well. Can get some heavy weapons factories slammed down, I would think. Finish Soup off. GG called as the fortress goes up there. And Grenooli's going to take that series 2-0. Can't handle the fortress again. Yeah, rough game, kind of a rough map as well, and then a rough mistake with a full ump as well. It's unfortunate, but GG to those involved. And as always, if you liked the video, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. If you look in the description again, you can join the GBG Discord where everyone's hanging out there. It's just sort of a community outside of Woobly and that, where people can keep in touch with one another, keep up with news and updates that's happening, you know, with the game. And you can get involved in these rookie tournaments as well. These are not like pro players or anything, that's just people that picked up the game somewhat recently or played very casually and just having a bit of a good time fighting it out. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.